Very nice to be here. As we say, we go way back, way back to 1976, 75, I think, right?
74.
74.
Yeah.
Wow. We go way back.
Late January 74.
January 74. There you go. And of course, to Ajahn Yaniko, I've known a long time. Ajahn Chunda, others. Debbie. So that's one of the great joys of being an old monk, is that you have these profound kalyanamitta, friends who have done this life and worked hard in their own practice and in creating beautiful environments like this. There's a sense of common purpose, common aspiration, common support, these different kinds of things, and that the rewards of kalyanamitta are really quite profound. They give you a kind of grounding in your sense of social identity, which is very, very meaningful. I was watching Debbie negotiate the traffic of San Francisco, and I was amazed. She is a good driver. But also I was amazed at how scary San Francisco traffic is. Because Ottawa traffic there, I think the lanes are wider, the cars are slower, and the people drive a bit more slowly, like bumper to bumper. So I felt quite anxious, actually. And then Debbie is negotiating these roads with all kinds of skill and crossing really, really quick. And then she's asking, Bante, do you need some water? And that's it's very rewarding in the sense I made it here safely and in good time. But also it's very endearing that someone like Debbie cares for us in this way. But also it's wonderful for Debbie, isn't it? That she has skills of many, many things, but those skills can be offered to us as a Sangha. And that's one of the great joys of developing skills in our life, that they're not just skills that I use so that I can get an income, so that I can feed the family. They're skills which are part of our dana paramita, developing ways of doing things well for the sake of community. And that's a great joy. That's a great joy. And there are many skills needed in a monastery. The skills of discipleship. That's a skill, isn't it? The skills of leadership. That's a skill. Manual skills. Bookkeeping skills. Like for myself, I need upataks because I'm a bit of a pigpen. Lompa, Pasana, we were in Virgin Islands, US Virgin Islands, and we shared a washroom together. So he comes in, everything's neatly laid out, his toothbrush, his toothpaste. I said, wow, how does he do that? Me, mine's just a little bit. So I'm in badly need of an upatak. And I have very good upataks. But within 2 days, it's a pig pen again. So I don't have the skill. I mean, I can be a good upatak, I can be a good kalyanamitta, but it's just that. Just like monks who, I really admire monks who can be stores monks. Ajahn Chunda is a very good stores monk, who can actually throw things away. I don't have that capacity. I get a piece of string, I could use that. That's going to be really useful. So things pile up. So you might not think that being a stores monk is significant, or being a upatak, or being a disciple. They're all really significant things that contribute to not just a competence, but I would say a joy of this life, because we give to it what we can. We give our skills and we learn, and so on. And that obviously we're not always joyous, because we're working through our anxieties and depressions and angers and all of that. We all have to work through that. But the attitude of doing things well and doing things from the sense of dana is tremendously helpful in our spiritual life. So I've learned like recently, when I was a younger monk, then there were no other senior monks, so I just had to be senior monk. There was no choice. So who's going to be the abbot? Well, you're the only one here, Viradhammo. It was that kind of a thing. So I never really had a chance to develop a lot of manual skills. So I was always kind of administrating or teaching or going to endless meetings and so on. Now I have a chance to do that. And there's a great joy in learning. There's a kind of, at least I found that just, Ajahn Yaniko is going to teach me how to do a bit of with the chisels this morning. And that sense of the joy of learning, like, how do you do this? How do you actually do? I've never done this before, rather than, I can't do this. That's also a kind of contribution to the happiness of the heart, where we are asked to do things, maybe we don't know how to do them, we get better and better at it. And Luang Por Cha's offering to us was quite often doing things beautifully. At least that's what I remember. Like the story I always give is once I was arranging the seats in the Dhanasala for the meal, and I was pushing a spittoon around with my foot. Yap. And I mean, you just don't do that in Thailand. And Luang Por Cha didn't say, "You idiot, Viradhammo." He said, "My sue, that's not beautiful." I thought, well, yeah, that's a good way to think about it. It's not beautiful. Yeah, how can I do this more beautifully? And so, beauty, not just as an aesthetic attachment, because that's just more suffering, but beauty as a way of doing things, the way we bow to each other, or the way, someone helps me with my sandals. All those things can bring a kind of gracefulness into a community. And being a men's sangha, men, when they live as groups, they can become quite coarse and tough and aggressive and competitive. You certainly see that in sport. But here, we're not married and we don't have families, so the gentleness that comes out in the best of marriage and in the best of raising children, that gentleness doesn't come out naturally through our life, but it does come out through the way we relate to each other, in a sense of deference, in a sense of beauty, in a sense of loving kindness. And those heart qualities are very, very important, because men's communities can, at least this is what I remember from our early years at Wat Nana Chat, we were so going to get enlightened tomorrow. So kind of, give me the 16th jhana and arahantship tomorrow. And I remember Luang Por Sumedho once saying, giving a talk, "You guys just relax. Just take it easy." Or Luang Por Cha saying to me, "Viradhammo, you want to get enlightened on one all-night sitting, but your mind's a mess. You're not the Buddha. You just give it 5 years and you might be a bit better." And that kind of moderation of attitude was so helpful. It was so helpful, because I was I was just so overly aggressive in my own practice. And then so Luang Por Cha's sense of humor, but direction, and that this is a marathon. It's not a 100-meter dash. We just develop ourselves. But the more we can bring in the heart qualities of beauty, deference, loving kindness, that really can carry us through the difficulties that we have, the very, very real difficulties that we do have. So, I'll leave that for reflection.